To everybody. So I'm BISWAS Academic Counselor of IGNOU. So today another specialized subject from the HR, that is most probably in the fourth semester paper, MMPH 009, that is International Human Resource Management. So today we have to uh, start this. This is the first session for this MMPH 009. So first, I will try to give some overview. What are the structure of this uh, international HRM management that courses? Uh, how many blocks are there? Which are the blocks are contains? What the units? Everything that we have to discuss. Then we have to go through some of the units in details, conceptual ideas, and what are the practices that we have to see. So block number one, that is a international human resource management overview. So it is given some overview of the block one. Then the introduction to international HRM. Uh, Before explaining all these blocks, I can say HRM normally everybody knows. It is a basically from the domestic side, normal HRM in any organizations. But when we are talking about the international HRM management, that's little different. So why it is different, that we have to explain. It's very interesting subject, and as on today, the present scenario. So as a HR personals, everybody should know what is the international uh, is going on and how to build up international HR systems, or you have to establish a new setup in the other countries. So, what type of HR practices are required from the international point of view? So that's why that course is very important. And then second unit is basically the social and the cultural context, because the diversity, different culture there. So how to cope up the situation as for a new employees from the host country or the subsidized countries and other countries people, how to adjust the things, how to align the cultural things. So that part they need to describe. Unity is the cross-culture diversity. As you know, the global people are from different countries, different cultures, different languages, and their religious point of view, the different religions. So there are uh, diversity is also accordingly very challenging. Then unit four is your strategic HR management in international context, because normal HR planning, whatever it is, and the annual forecast or for the new project, what type of plans is required, is a normal routine process for the any organizations. But when you are talking about the international context, the different strategy we have to adopt. We have to see in all angles, lot other factors also. Then we have to make a strategy for that, how to establish the new setup or new infrastructure, new policies. So strategic is very important. Now coming to block number two. Block number two is the HR practices. First block normally for the introductions, the cultures, and what is the difference between your domestic HRM and your versus your international HR. So that part we have to discuss. Second block basically for your practices. What are the practices for this? Again, it is the considering the international context. There again there are five units in the block two, and there actually this contain the staffing and the international assignment, because you are posting somebody. So what type of assignment is required before that? What type of preparation is required? That part recruitment for staffing, basically the selection, your recruitment and the appointment and post it there. So all these parts are particular the domain of the staffing process. So from the international, if it is some international assignment, what the angle, from which angles, what are the factors, that part we have to see. Unit number 6 has training and development in the international context, because normal training, routine training process as per the HRD, they are conducting lot of as per the calendar years, lot of training program are for the domestic purposes. Now, when you are talking about the international context, the different training and development program will be different. Maybe you have to add some of the things, module will be different, or maybe the your different aspect are to be included from the cultural point of view, maybe the language point of view. So the training program will be different: pre-training, post-training, expedite training, or before posting, maybe some training is required. How to adjust the situations from the new countries, cultural. So training will be little different from the routine, traditional training, TNT. Now, international performance management. The performance management also have to see the again the procedure or practices in the existing company. Um, but when we are talking about the international performance management, again it will be different, because their performance level has to be achievement based on the achievement, and target basis we have to decide. If the personal management system are not decided before that, what type of parameters are set it, expectations from the employees, then project may not be successful. So parameters and the measures are to be formulated from the international performance management point of view. Now, unit number 8 is basically your the compensation management, because again the compensation normally we are decided by the company. These are the government rules and regulations as per the labor laws, what are the labor act. So based on this, by the negotiation with the unions, you have to decide management and keeping on different levels, different grading. So everything are from the our Indian systems. You have to follow according to the compensation package decided. But when you are again for the international point of view, definitely different, because sometimes you have to hire for the their country's people, maybe foreigners you have to recruit, because those are the local people are there. You have to recruit from there itself. So definitely the package will be different, because their living standards will be different, or maybe the expenditures accordingly. So you have to consider all these things. It may not be the same, because the domestic your compensation package and the foreigners packages may not be the same, so it will be different. Maybe that's why sometimes the conflict will start, because of the domestic package may be little less, international package will be high. So maybe that tend to clash or sometimes conflicts there. But how to cope up the situation, that is the challenge. That's why the management is required. International competition management. How to tackle all these things. Unit number 8 are describing all these things. And even in the international practices also there. Moreover, some foreign countries' rule and regulation will be different. They are so to consider their government rule and regulations. Based on this, you have to fix the competition package also. So all these part are to be covered up. Then unit number 9 is with international career management, because normal process everywhere. Suppose for example in India we are every 4 years maybe the promotion policy is there. You have to enhance your increment, or maybe the position will be different. Engineer, then senior engineer, deputy manager, manager. This is the way senior manager, maybe the managing director. So this is the way the career path has been decided by the company. Or but again, when we are talking about the international career management, it will be different. So That part, um, that part are described in the unit number 9. Now, block number 3 is basically the behavioral dynamics. Because as we know, when you are in the domestic field, maybe your local language, you are familiar with the local languages, you are accustomed, you are acquainted, because basically there is no problem at all for the interact with the local people, so especially for the marketing people, or those who are in the field. So day to day, you have to interact with this. So behavioral pattern are almost the same, but when you are in the context of your international things, so their culture, their local languages are to be how to adopt the things, how fast you have to do things, acceptance in the mind, and run the business, especially for those who are in the marketing side or in the field side. So they have to interact with the local. So you have to know the languages, how what the way you have to behave, what the culture is theirs, how to respect, or what about the communications. So everything are very to be valued, because the behavioral dynamics are very much important. In the block 3 has been explained in the text. So unit number 10 basically the leadership and the motivation in the global context. Because leaderships are when you are in the domestic side, you know the natures, you know the each of everybody's behavior patterns. So and how to tackle, how to lead the things, so that it may be you're familiar with these things, and how to motivate, what things are to be, factors are to be motivated. So that is more or less easy for a leader, good leader in domestic point of view. But when you are in the international challenges, international, you are the country lead or something, country managers or some of your area in some of the regions, kind of country regions there, Eastern Europe or something, or Western Europe, then maybe you will be your leadership skill will be different. It's maybe required more challenge. You have to require more attentions. You are more knowledgeable. All these things are required when you are in the international and the global senses. And how to motivate, you know your country's people, how to motivate, that part maybe that you are knowledgeable, you are capable, that capacity. But when you are in the global sense, means in the other countries people are working, you are under you, or you are maybe sitting in India, or maybe your staffs are working in the USA or some other places. So that time, that motivation and leadership skills, it may be a little, it may be different, or maybe more trust will be there, more capacity is required, even the more skill is required. So that part in number 10, leaderships uh, and motivation part are discussed. Then high performance work systems, how to achieve the highest performance from the workers, the employees. So that work culture, work balance, and lot of factors, how to reduce how to eliminate the situations in the environment point of view, so that they can product can be increased, and their productivity parameters will be increased. So all these things are systems that work systems are defined. Then block number 4 is now issues and challenges. So if so, any project or any things during at the time of the implementations, so there are a lot of issues will be there. It is a common phenomenon, and issues or problems are always welcome, because you should know where the problems are there, and accordingly you can adjust or you can fit the things. So issues or challenges are based on the survey, based on the experiences, and have been. With unit number 12, we discuss the international employees relations, because here will be different attitudes and the values will be different. So that's why the relations are very important. Basically, the relations, international employees relations, are basically to take the inputs. You should know the inputs. Then only you can have a fix the things so that the relationship can be built up and ultimate objectives to achieve the goal of the organizations. So that's why the employee relations is very important. Now coming to last unit, that is unit number 13, that is international HRM trends and challenges. So what are the present trends going on internationally, and what are the challenges in respect of your HRM part as a HR professionals, what to do when you are tackling or when you are taking lead of the your international employees. So definitely it is a challenge. So what are the challenge? What are the issues? What are the factors? What are the pitfalls? The problems that are should know, because it is required also. So this is the way it is the coverage of the blocks and the courses. So as I say, the block one basically the your introduction part, overview, and block two is for the practices, and block three is for the behavioral and dynamics, what type of behaviors, and block four is the issues and challenges. So this is the way the course has covered. Now see some of the block one unit unit-wise description. Now we have to go further deep in the mm, things. So first of all, you see the structure of this unit, basically the introduction, the international HRM, then your definition of the uh, human resource management, then differences between the domestic HRM. As I already discussed, some of the given. Again, now it is a categorically in a structured way. Now I have to see now right now differences between the domestic HRM and international HRM. Questions is also you have to prepare accordingly. So from number unit number 1.3, it may be a question also. So answer are available in the blocks in the study material 1.3. The questions describe the differences. DHRM versus IHRM differences. Describe. So then we have to, as a tabulated form, you can explain, or in a writing forms, parawise you can write some of the points for the uh, DMHRM and some of the points for the your, or vice versa. So in this case, when the differences type of question, tabulated form is very easy. You can table then 1, 2, 3. This is the DHRing part and vice versa. Correspondingly, your international HRing part. So this way you can differences can show there are maybe 3 to 4 points are there. You can highlight it. Then approaches of the international HRing. What are the approaches are there? Activities. Then you are understanding the culture and culture of the impact of nature. So again, unit number 1 are basically introductory part and some touch some of the culture also. Now see, as some of the Jack Welch, a notable former CEO of GE, is often quoted saying the organization must either globalize or die. Because until and unless you are not focused on uh, target or in the globalizations, in the global senses, then business cannot flourish or can. So extensions always you have to extension expand the business. That basically the idea is this. Now you are a domestic company, but your focus would be international sense. Then you have to survive. You can your exist will be there. Your business existence will be there. Otherwise, die what is basically not that sense. Sickness, decline will start. Your product may not be cannot be marketable in the market. So that's all. So now, first of all, it is better to know, understand the importance of the basic international HRM terminology. That terminology, what is the meaning of these things? So multinational corporations. What is the MNC? MNC means they have a multiple means they have a business of the other countries also. So that's why it's a multiple corporations means MNC, multinational corporations. Now transnational corporations TNC means product their operations may be spread different countries. So that's why it is a traditional corporations. They are different in the world, worldwide, different places there. That is also a multinational company, but they have to spread it. Their product may be uh, already produced some other country, and their your export other countries, and their finance are maybe given by the some other countries. So that is the way logistics. So all these are in transitional mode. Means throughout the world, it has spread it, and all the things are operations, funding, everything are there. So that is the type of company TNC. Home country, parent country is where the is located in the country situated, uh, the control from the home country, but branches are there, subsidiaries are there in the other country. So this type of company is a home country or parents country, we can say. Host country, the most of the subsidiaries companies, they are authority, they are doing the things, the product are they are producing. So this is basically the host country. Parent country nationals, because the suppose for example Italy, some of the companies they are established is there, their each of the CEO, managing director, everything are there, but they have some expansion of other companies. So that is a parent company nationals basically, and their employees are parent companies nationals, employee of this particular this. Host country nationals, there's what are the to hosting the company to country host the country. Their employees, you can say the nationals basically. For example, the passport, I have a national passport. So suppose I am an Indian passport holder, and now I am going to Dubai. I am working there. I am working there. I'm the employer of some of the, but I am the national of India because our nationality identity are from the India. So this is the way it is defined. The third country nationals, because uh, some USA personnel or maybe the Italy personnel posted in USA, or for example China, some of the employee from China, he has posted in USA. Then after that, further he has posted in Italy for job rotation, whatever the purpose is. So this type of the nationals are basically the third country nationals, TCNs. They are moving, rotating different countries. So they are basically their country will be the third, but product maybe the uh, owners and the company are somewhere in the other country, but their employees are working in different company, and they are in between. They are transferring the other locations. So that type of nationals are TCLs. So all these abbreviations are there, and you have to familiarize all these things. So it is very much required to clarify the things. Then introduction to international HRM. The fundamental objectives of the HRM, international HRM, is to acquire the upper hand or the competitive advantage through the recruiting and expanding the employees' abilities, effectiveness, and their efficiency. That is the basic objectives. Competitiveness advantage, because your standards should be as per the global standards. Your product range, the skill, whatever you have, that should be at par with the other countries' skills. So all these things have to be uh, achieved. That objectives, fundamental objectives. Then you can call as a international HRM capacity they have. So the end goal for any organization is customer satisfaction. So as you know, it is a marketing philosophy that ultimately the customer satisfaction is required. The product may be from the India, product may be from the USA, product whatever the things. So when you are purchasing, if you are satisfied, customer may be anywhere in the country, in the world. He is sitting somewhere. Suppose for example, Apple phone, Apple phone, Samsung phone, but still people are Apple is take a top listed because they are the priority companies. Why? Because they know how to satisfy the customer satisfactions. Market leader position basically. So that is should be the end goal of the any organization. So you should be a number one. Then you can have a good market globally. It also includes the additional features such as the dispute solutions between the domestic and the foreign employees, cross-culture management at different levels, and the cooperation between the domestic and the foreign employees. So it is the additional feature should be there. As a HR personnel, you have to see. Suppose I am a HR personnel, so I have to see how to solve the dispute, not only in the domestic field, international field also. So how to solution between the domestic employee and the foreign employee. Maybe some conflict is there. Maybe some, for example, the pay package. The domestic employee, he's saying I am getting less amount, allowances are less, and foreign employees they are getting more allowance because depending on the situation where he is living and what his family background and what type of expenditure he is spending, what type of his attitudes and values. So all these factors are there. So considering this, when you are taking a skilled personnel from the foreign, so accordingly you have to give you some packages also like this. So there are some issues are there. So HR personnel has to tackle all these situations. So it is the additional features. But you see, considering the domestic, there will not be that type of issues will not be there. So it is the expected issues are predictable issues there. So cross-culture issues are sometimes they go because he has not adjusted, or maybe the language problems locally he cannot, or interaction of the foreign personals and the domestic personnel or country. So there are some classes there, or some mismanagement or something. So that the cultural problems is there. How to solve these things? So that level will be different levels. They have to solve it, and the cooperations between the domestic and the foreign employees, that cooperation has to be established so that can support smooth functioning of the business. So that's why the cross culture management is very required. Then your uh, the Mark Mendel's 2000, he attempted to create criteria for the defining the some of the experts he has tried to attempt before 24 years before. He has some criteria he has tried to fix it. Some of the requirements he has listed out. HRM activities address matters carried out cross border or the location other than the headquarters in the home country. So cross border means the different countries, other countries, or nearby the countries. So what are the activities? Yes, try to add this. That can be similar, or maybe some addition deletion is required. So what type of activities are there based on this? The cross border means different countries. So from the headquarters and in the home countries. Other than the headquarters means suppose you are sitting in Delhi in India, and your business operations are in the other staffs are sitting in the China or somewhere. So that things, or maybe their foreign personnel is also there. So that time you have to the activities you have to address the matters basically. Then your uh, addresses the linkage and the synergize between the organization's HR activities and the foreign environment in which it operates. Synergies basically suppose there are more than uh, more than two energies are clapped together. It is merge my energies as a Indian personals or other countries, suppose for the China or maybe the Italy, their personals, their energy, when both the department energies or section of the energies are mixed and in same directions, we call it the synergies. It is more action will be there. So that type of environment for the operation point of view is very much required. You have to create such a environment where both the energy are together and run the section or your company. Then HRM is elusive of HRM studies. But in other words, we can say there are differences in how companies in different countries carry out the HR activities. So this is all a part of your view of Mark Mendel's. He has attempted some of the criteria, he has tried to fix it. Then differences between the domestic HRM and the international HRM. The questions may come. So some of the points are in there, the study material, or you can put in as per your own. You can give some example also. So domestic and the international companies are working on synergies. As I told, synergy means join the both the energies. But there are decisive differences between how the two companies operate. So decisions are very much required because what are the differences that should be eliminated, and the synergies is required basically to match the things. What are the decisions are to be in particular in one directions. It should not be any angle or opposite direction. So what are the things? This is the differences. What are the differences that has to be sorted out by the discussions and operate the company. There are six fundamental aspects distinguish the international HRM from the domestic HRM. There are six fundamentals. Which are the fundamentals? That fundamentals are the major nationalities of the employees are involved. Then various functions performed, impact on the international environment, more expensive and deeper relationships than your contrasting the approaches to the domestic functions. Tenacious difficulties of the domestic HRM. So all these things are basically the differences. Again, you can further elaborate or you can write something with examples depending on the marks, how much marks, 5 marks or 10 marks or 20 marks questions. Depending on this, you have to elaborate more. Now here are some of the introduction to international HRM. There's a wider nationalities. Then your different approaches of the function. In between, in the center, there's the integral part of the your IHRM, international humanities. This is the integrated part. Wider nationalities you have to see. You have to focus on the global your employees from the nationalities. So what type of staff should be there? How much skill is required? Then border relationships and the complexities. What are the cultural point of view? You have to communication point of view. After that, you have to build up the relationships. As I already described the some of the things. Now it is one of the just flow chart or diagram. Based on the diagram, you can memorize the things diagram. You can write 2-3 times. Then you can explain the things one by one. Different approaches of the functions and your variety of the functions, because as you know, there based on the international point of view, there should be a functionally varied different aspect. Then enduring the complexities of the HRM activities. So all are your part of your HRM. So all are encompassing. Basically, this encompassing of the other functions area, or maybe the interaction, interconnected to all these things. Basically, these all are interconnected. Now, international human resource management perform the same functions, but the scope of the activities in widened from the point of host countries nationals, home country nationals, and the third country nationals. So they have an additional remunerations, as I said earlier, for the function that needs to be attended to. Exchange rate neutralizations, because their exchange rate will be different, so that what are the dollar and Indian rupees or conversation rate and this thing, that should be neutralized. International market allowances, because if you are see your staff are working in different countries, so international that market allowance will be also there. Tax adjustment are some of the HRM activities, because how to minimize the tax, how to adjust the tax amount, because they should not pay the both the taxes in India and as well as and the other countries tax also. So that part you have to see, because all these are very much required. So for example, in the if you are go for the work for the English countries, especially in Dubai or somewhere, there is a no tax. Whatever you are earning, there is a compensation package, total package. There is no deduct single money. But when you are transfer in the India, maybe the bank will deduct some of the TDS or whatever, whatever your income to show. So this is the facility is given for the expertise, because they know the Middle East country, they know if they again issue some of the tax burden, they may not get the skilled enough persons. The person may not be clear because of the tax. So that's why they are giving some relaxations so that they can hire the skilled persons and giving that opportunity to earn more. So this is the things, international market allowance, tax adjustments are very important when you are considering as a international part. Then some of the part is the domestic risk management of the international. This is all are regulated in the study material itself. Just show you where it is located and how it looks it through this session. I am trying to focus these things. So you go through this, it's everything, and you can write in your own languages also. Try to understand the things and write in your own languages. Maybe some of the major points, some of the minor points. So try to learn and keep accordingly. So, for example, I can compare the only there are four number. The only has to deal with the nationals of one country, because domestic HRM personal, suppose we considering as a personal manager, is only dealing with the national accounts. But whereas you see the other side, he has to deal with the people from different nationalities of the expert. This is one of the differences. Then scope of the HRM activities is limited in the domestics. But when you are talking about the international part, the range of HRM activities is widening. It is now increased. Different aspect will come. So this is the way to stabilize it, clear the concept. You can write in your own languages and make a note like this. Now approaches to things. What are the approaches? There is a constructed similarity in the stage of internationalizations or globalizations. Douglas Wind, he says, and the Parliament of 1969 is advocated, as he has given a propagate the things. The four approaches they have uh, declared. They have give a recommendation basically the international. One is the your ethnic centers approach, polycentric approach, regiocentric approach, and geocentric approach. There are some things are there, different approaches there. You have to elaborate the things, you have to write some things. Here actually the polycentric approach is very good, because where you have to considering worldwide. They are free. You can decentralize the things. They can put their employees in what are the salaries, they can package, they can decide, they can product what are the range product. So all the authorities is given throughout. Then your business will be, there will be no tension, because you not interact. Your interaction is there, but you are not holding all this power to centralize in the host as a host country or some countries. You are just distributed the powers to the others. So polycentric approach is better nowadays. Others approaches are there depending on the company's nature of work and your business. Basically, what type of business based on this. the suitable approach has to be adopted. So here you see the some example of the ethno-center organizations where you see your the managing director is one, and all the managers are parallel in is the flat putting this. And another some of the especially in the marketing, other part is controlled by the one persons. But when we are talking the marketing part, there are some India, North India managers is there, one of the part, then South part is there, and export manager, assistant manager is there. Because some of the product domestically you are supplying, and as well as you are expanding or you are thinking to export the things, so that's why you have to see the export systems also, and accordingly you have to put some manpower. You can give you some feedbacks. So this type of arrangement are basically your authority center organizations. Now see the another one, that is your polycentric your organization. As I said, the managing director is there and CEO foreign subsidy. Because here you see the ultimately managing director is reporting to everything, but in between you see the foreign subsidy CEO are taking as per their own decisions. He has individual decisions, he can that power he has. So there should not be any ambiguities or problems. So and other things are remain same. Only the power are distributed because here the managing director, suppose for India, he is sitting. He has just taken report, no problem. But CEO of the foreign subsidies, there is another company is there in the other country. He is taking all lead. He is taking all the decisions, and only he just reported to us. In that case, managing director is not intervening. If any crucial part is required or any uh, discussions regarding, you can discuss the CEO. So this type of approaches are very useful. In this case, maybe the more structures will be there. This is one of the unit you are saying. There may be lot of CEO of the foreign subsidy. There may be 4 or 5 subsidies are there. So every subsidy there is some CEO. They will be there. They all are taking their own decisions and just passing to managing director for the approval purpose or post facto approval purposes, basically. But they are handling the entities. So this type of approach are very useful and globally accepted. Now another is your regio-centric uh, organizations, where the different 2 or 3 countries are there. So every country there is some CEO subsidiary and marketing. There are 3 marketing countries. Suppose, for example, your Dubai, another one is your Bangladesh, or maybe your China. So there are 3 countries there, but CEO, the subsidies company where they are maintaining their put in things. Finally, the managing director, the host country, parent company, they are looking after. And after that, in this case, R&D and D and finance, productions, these all these things are controlled by the managing directors. But in this case, this is also some of the regio. That's why it is a regionalized, regio-centric organizations. There are different countries. 3 countries are there. So regionally, you can say the country-wise, CU subsidiary are maintaining the things, all the responsibilities. So this is the. Then another is your geocentric organizations. Geocentric in this case, you see there are managing directors on the top, and then your operation, finance, marketing, human resources are directly reporting to managing director. But the regions, there are 1, 2, 3 regions are again they have some your country. There are 3 countries. 3 countries there are 3 regions are there. So they are directly reporting to managing directors. So that is a geocentric, geographically located in the 3 countries, and they are directly reporting to your managing director. In this case, CEO of subsidiary is not required. Country head are directly reporting. So country 1, 2, 3, they are directly reporting to all these data are the inputs are coming. And all have a your operations, finance, marketing, HR are established there also. You see in the top, there are global operations, finance, marketing. They are giving the inputs or directions to these things. But individual countries are country one, country two, country three. They again they have some operations, finance, marketing. That is geocentric organizations structures. So now coming to HR planning, the activities are very much important. HR planning and international recruitment planning is all are part. Training and development, as I said, the remuneration for the expertise are different. Performance appraisals things are expertise will be different, and repartitions. Well, basically, when you are coming back, suppose for 2 years as assignment, he has completed his assignment in the foreign. Now he are coming back. When he is rejoining again in this, the cultural shock will be there. Then definitely they have to take part. So that side the repartitions are also taken care where he has put the things because the different cultures, his style of the work has now changed because he has long time he has stayed in the internationally in the foreign countries. Now he is coming back. Culturally maybe he has changes. His attitude also changes. So how to tackle when you are coming again the domestic field? How to that cultural shock basically how to recover the things. So again so that he can just locally. So that is that part looking up to by the literature. Then understanding the culture. That is involved the culture power is the determinant. Then so many factors are there. Knowledge, beliefs, and all these part of the value system. There are several levels are there. Different condition. First you have to the reaction type. No, I will not go to this foreign company. I will not be ready to post in the foreign country. My family is there. She is looking in her own interest. So first, so that's why this ultimately there are different levels are there. Finally, he has accepted the things. Initially, any human cannot be accepted. He is thinking his materialistics. He is thinking his own benefits. How much pay I will be given. Tax, how my children's education, how I survive there. So how I don't know the languages. So this will create some of the so that's why different stages are there by the counseling, by the training. You have to things. So the cultural factors can be solved before the posting the employees. Before deploy the things, you have to consider all these things. So understanding the culture, that's it. Then attitudes has to be changed because you have to go there, you have to fulfilling. Unhappy is not. Suppose some of the employees will be unhappy, forcibly are sending somewhere, some of the countries. Then he not can to work more. That unproductive. That case he will be always thinking his background. Homesickness will be there. So that things are you have to change his attitudes. Behavior patterns has to be changed. So because in the domestic area, or cultural wise behavior is there. In other country, their behavior will be there. Good morning, hello, sit and namaste. Whatever the things that here should be in practice because their culture will be there. You have to give some value. So accordingly, you have to change your behavior also. So all these things are very important for understanding the culture. So culture and this impact on the HRM policy because it will impact the things because when you are making policies for international countries, you have to do all this consideration. Impact of the culture of the HRM policy, then impact the training, what type of training is really required, then impact of the compensation package, it will really fulfill your purpose or not. So HR priorities, which priorities required. So significant impact of the HRM policies and the practices are listed out some of the things. What type of impact will be there? Then some of the questions are there, self-assignment type of questions. You can see different activities, what are the cultural factors, as I say, different that type of self-assignment questions. Now, quickly I can go through some of the unit number 2 also. There some of the things, the interaction, social and the cultural practice vary across the different countries and the part of the global also. So culture is a group level phenomenon, and culture is generally it comes from the climatic and the economic conditions of the geographical area. So the culture are basically the geographical locations. There's how what the way their hardships are there or very comfortable life or not there. The convenience, the food, everything are depending culture. It will affect in the culture. The set of traditional beliefs, some of the beliefs are theirs, how to overcome the things, and they share the values of the things by the participants. Society, then it is difficult, it's a challenge basically. The pattern of the life throughout the past, down from the generation to generations, is change. Norms, customs, arts, values, etc. Now, uh, describe the type of the behavior that society consider the appropriate based on the social interactions. Because some of the things, some behavior are not acceptable by the societies. Even though still in our domestic in here also, that behavior are pattern, it may not be like all these things. But that employee when he is posted in the other country, so it will face a different. So before that on the other country's culture and behavioral pattern should be knowledgeable. It should be know all these things before going there, before posting. So each of person has duty or almost responsibility before that is ending that employee are really capable or not. Culturally he will be adopted or not. That you have to ensure before posting the things. So dynamic in nature is the old area ideas are rejected and the new ideas are adopted. So this is the way introductory part. Define the culture. Culture is a social mediated patterns of the behavior. As I said, norms, beliefs, and values of a particular community. So Harris he has defined the culture as the way of behaving and believing the group of the people has developed over a time. It shares. So many authors have written in different versions of the culture they have to define. So to go through this. And then advantage and importance of the studying culture. So what are the advantages? Better workforce diversity management. Disadvantage is formation of the group of the cultural stereotypes and their effective management of the human resource at the home and abroad. Tendency to so this is the way. What are the advantage and disadvantages are displayed. So it's all in the study material itself. I just picked up and make a page this PPT on it. So it is available there. Now I can skip some things. Different cultures lead to the diverse knowledge, competencies, and your perspective and the ideas. So culture, when it is a lead, basically uh, can be togetherness. Culture can be put you in the particular things, directions. So that is required. Maybe it is a process. It's not a one fine day cannot be there. The cultural sensitivity is very important because and you have to sensitize the individuals. For example, I can give you one example. Suppose I actually trained some of the peoples before going to abroad. So what type of behavior you have to see, or the way you have to put the passport, your dollar, where you put it, what the way you have to discipline like. So everything 1 week course are there. So pre-training for the posting of the foreign training. That time I naturally discussed all these things. So the different state people are coming. So 1 week rigorous training was there. There I have explained all these things, how to behave the things. Timing is very important. You have to discipline yourself. So to put all these things in other countries, you have to cook. Maybe sometimes you have to cook in your food also. So you have to more discipline other way and behave the behavior patterns, what type of behavior you have to show to the others foreign countries people. So all these things are sensitize the things because as individuals maybe they don't know first time he is going to the foreign company. So what type of culture will be there? So it is a process. Through this process, some pre-training program Most of the companies that language is also one of the things. It should not be a barrier. Language should not be a barrier. You should know some of the little bit, some of the, how to interact with the local people themselves. Some of the words, some of the sentences, some of the day-to-day, how to deliver the things. That part. Even in the food, when you go to the supermarket or purchasing something, you should know their languages, how to deal with the local people. That is very important. So cultural appreciation and the cultural differences are definitely there. So this is a very tough job, challenge job basically. So deeply energized the values of the group, individuals, systematically varying the societies, conditioning the practices and the policy. There are all are listed out. Now, as per the adverse and the risk, they are declared what type of what are the things are influenced by host countries or the parent countries, attitudes in international negotiation and their outcomes, international mergers and their acquisitions. So these all are the influence. Why when it is required basically. The, but a lot of theories are there, management theories. So manager subordinate relationship dynamics, concept of the performance management, talent management, and talent development. Everything are side by side are very much required. Attitude towards the job and the career mobility is very important. So that type of attitudes you have to grow, you have to develop employees. Then your so many models are there. There's one or two models are called the onion models and the cultural dimensions are there. There are two models are important. That's now I have to see some of the models description how this shows. It is a onion model of the there's you see the one by the onion you see the different layers in the core in the onion the core portions are there like this the values. First you have to open out first layer, then second layer, then third layer at the time of just like that's why it is a name is the onion model because the onion also you are just cover up when you open up the things one by one layer is coming circle layers. So like this first is the symbols, then heroes and disciples, what are the religions or the beliefs sentence are there, and what are the practices of their the foreign people are doing there, what are the practices there. Then you have to see the values. So when you know all these things, values automatically will come out. So that is one of the uh, process that is by the Hofstad's he has described. The theory has built up. Now another things the different layer he has is described the things. Which layer is for what purposes? Surface, surface layers, then hidden core, hidden culture, and then individual of the implicit cultures. That is the core basically, and the centers. Then you see the cultural universal truth, then values, religions, description of their different layers and the descriptions. Then you see here some of the another there's a six dimension culture. The six dimension cultures are there. Power distance. Uh, Basically the cultural dimensions. These all are different dimensions and encompasses the things. The long term versus the short time. Then your masculinity and the femininity, tolerance of the uncertainty, different condition will be there. Different condition, what type of uh, how to implement the things, because the theory this theory helps across the cross culture behaviors and the interactions between the geographical boundaries do not the constants in the business world in the age of the globalizations. So all these things are different dimensions you have to look after. That is the matter for this. Then again the same thing. What other things are shows here? This all these things are listed out. Same thing. There are six, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Then are listed. Same thing. Now another global model. That is another model globally. You have to see. This is all important. Why I am showing all these things? may not be able to, because of the shortage of time, I'm not explaining all these things. I am just my intention to show these things. This is all an important part. You have to go, students or learner has to go through these. Questions may come. That time at least you have to give you some diagrams and to write some things for the exam point of view. Then again the same thing. I think what are the listed out, same thing are in the written forms. Then your cultural convergence, cultural divergence. So globalization of the cultural convergence is all the terms are important. Then globalization and the cultural convergence are uh, side by side. All these things are as a come as a question as a come as a make the differences. Why it is important. This is the way you have to see. Then some of the self questions in this particular block too. There's what are the significant advantage and the disadvantage of defining the cultures. When you are defining the cultures, you have to say something. This is the advantage. This is the advantage. You have to structure. You have to write it. Then defines the layer of the, as I showed, the different layer of the perspectives, cultural onion model, or maybe the global model. This is the way. Then that time you have to give some pictures and you have to write the things and make the layers. What layers descriptions you have to write. Then you will get the marks. Elaborate the different dimension of the things. So just now I have shown this is that type of questions are coming. This is for the skill person purpose. Even in the exam paper also you can go through this. You will get this type of questions are coming. What are the different dimensions of the cultural model? Trump cultural model. There's another question. In the lastly, I can say some of the things. In the end of the sessions, I would request to please go through the study materials of IGNOU study materials, which are available in the printed form or in the software also, soft copy also. If you go through this, answer is theirs, question is also theirs. So every unit, end of the unit, you will get some self-assessment questions, and all these questions are available, answer is available in the study material itself. So we have to write in your own way, your conceptions, make a note, and definitely you will get a good marks. And try to, and at the time of answering, you try to put some of the description and some photograph and the diagrams also. Because diagrams, as a manager, as a managerial practices, you have to put some diagrams, some flow chart, some card, table, that it will boost up your answering the things. So during the answer, you have to not only the writing, you have to give some figure, you have to figure the things that is important. Then your knowledge will be increased, and not only that, from the examiner point of view, he can understand it. Yes, that concept is clear. Now he can make some table also. He can make some curve also. He can put some diagrams. So that is really important to carry the good marks. And you can remember also if you whatever you are writing, you can put in a tabular form or some of the things in these portions. You can revision will be very easy. You can at the end of the day, you can revise the things. Maybe after 3 4 days, you can revise. That will be very easy. If you have a table or comparison chart or your card, this is the way you have to make it. So that is my small suggestions and what I feel that I just try to explain the things. Um, the students can get it within a very short period of time. So best things you are minutely go through the study materials and try to make out the answers from there. See the questions and answer. Then after that you can download it, the previous year's question paper is available in the IGNOU site and go through this. Last 3 to 4 years question paper you can download and see. So before the question things, you have to go through first. Study material study is very much important, and you have to highlight the things, questions, where the answers are located, and make it questions. So okay, I think now I think my session is now complete of today's sessions. So thank you very much. We have to meet for the next sessions. Like this. Thank you.